Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Hanuman Prasad. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, IARE, which is located at Dundigal. The topic that I am going to discuss in today's session is from Module 5, and of course, this is the last topic from Module 5, Gender and Culture. And the name of the last topic is the Brave Heart. The Brave Heart. Okay? And the contents that I am going to discuss as a part of this topic are introduction, the beginning of resistance, Battle of Stirling, which was happened in September 11, 1297. Edward I confronts Wallace, Battle of Falkirk, Autumn 1299 to Summer 1304. These numbers are the years. 1297, 1299, 1304. These are the years. Okay. And Wallace and finally references. So we are going to discuss about one more legend, William Wallace. So we call him the Braveheart. Okay, the film Braveheart was taken based on his life story, William Wallace. Okay, he belongs to the 13th century. Okay, so we will look at each and every content in detail. The first content is introduction. The Braveheart is the story of William Wallace during the reign of Edward I of England, who deposed Scottish King John Balliol and declared self-king or self-ruler of Scotland in the year 1296. Okay, so the Braveheart is the story of whom? William Wallace. William Wallace. When during the reign of Edward I of England, when he is ruling the Scotland, who? Edward I. He belongs to England, means British person. When he is ruling the Scotland. How? Who deposed Scottish King John Balliol and declared self-king or self-ruler of Scotland in the year 1296, 13th century. Sir William Wallace was born on 1270 near Renfrew, Scotland. Renfrew is a city in Scotland country. Okay, so he was born on 1270 near Renfrew city in Scotland country, and he died on 23rd August of 1305 in the city of London. Where he died? He died in London in 1305 on 23rd August. Okay. So how many years he has survived? 1305 minus 1270. Only 35 years he has survived. But he has played a tremendous role in his life to fight for the independence of Scotland. Now we will see how he fought for the independence of Scotland, whether he achieved it or not. Okay, let's see. But no matter whether he achieved or not, he fought. Means he gave the dare and dashing in the minds of people to get revolution against the bad things, against the ruling of other people. Okay. So now let's see. He is considered a national hero. William Wallace is considered a national hero for leading Scottish resistance forces during the long and ultimately successful struggle to free Scotland from English rule. Okay. Why he is considered a national hero? For leading Scottish resistance forces during the long and ultimately successful struggle to free Scotland from English rule or British rule. English rule is nothing but British rule. Okay. So Edward I of England. Let's see. The beginning of resistance. How the resistance has begun. How the resistance has begun. Let's see. Wallace means William Wallace and a band of 30 some men bombed Lanark and killed its English sheriff. Okay. Wallace and a band of 30 some men means with a group of 30 people bombed Lanark and killed its English sheriff. So there was a city Lanark. So in that city, William and a group of 30 people have bombed the city of Lanark where the English sheriff live. So they bombed the Lanark and killed its English sheriff. Okay. Wallace then organized an army of commoners and small landowners. So after that, Wallace organized an army of common people and small landowners. Okay. And he attacked the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay. He means William Wallace attacked the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay in the year 1297 of May month. In the May month of 1297. Okay. So that is how the resistance has begun by William Wallace. With a group of 30 men, he bombed Lanark and killed its English sheriff. Later, he organized an army of common people and small landowners. And finally, he attacked the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay in the year 1297 May month. Okay. Now let's look at the next content. Battle of Stirling, which was happened in September 11th of 1297. And when he attacked the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay, in 1297 only, but in the month of May. Now we are discussing Battle of Stirling, which was happened in the month of September on 11th date, the same year 1297. Means how many years gap? How many months gap? May, June, July, August, September. Just 4 months gap. Within 4 months gap, this Battle of Stirling has happened. Okay. English response led by the Earl of Surrey and John de Warenne. Okay. There was an English response for his attack of the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay in the May month of 1297. So the response was led by two people, Earl of Surrey and John de Warenne. Wallace and his forces were greatly outnumbered, means they are numerous, they are more in number. But even though Wallace and his forces were greatly outnumbered or more numerous, but Surrey had to cross a bridge before reaching the Scottish positions. Okay? Even though they are more numerous, he has to, Wallace had his forces were greatly outnumbered, but Surrey had to cross a bridge. Okay, there was a bridge between the two rivers, Forth and Tay. So he has to cross that bridge. Who? Surrey. Before reaching the Scottish positions. In order to reach that Scottish positions, he has to cross that bridge. Okay. By slaughtering means making to drink extremely the English as they crossed the river, Wallace gained an overwhelming victory. So finally they crossed the river. So with that happiness, they drank excessively. So who did this? Wallace and his resistance force. Okay. So they slaughtered him, means they made him to drink excessively. So Wallace gained an overwhelming victory. Wallace captured Stirling Castle, and for the moment, Scotland was nearly free of occupying forces from England. Okay, so finally Wallace captured Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle. Okay, for the moment, Scotland was nearly free of occupying forces from England. So the first victory of William Wallace is to capture or to occupy Stirling Castle. So that is why it is called Battle of Stirling, which was happened in the year 1297, the month of September and the date of 11th. Okay, so the battle has started with capturing Stirling Castle. That is why this is called the Battle of Stirling. Okay, so first of all, for the moment, Scotland was nearly free of occupying forces from England. Okay, and now Edward I confronts Wallace. So finally, Edward I entered into the story. So he confronts. Confronts means he challenges face to face. He challenges Wallace. Wallace invades northern England on October 1297. Means after 1 month of Battle of just now we discussed, right? Battle of Stirling. After 1 month of Battle of Stirling, Wallace invades northern England on October 1297. After 1 month of Battle of Stirling. Battle of Stirling was happened in September month of 1297, and Edward I or Wallace invading on northern England happened on October of 1297. 1 month gap. September, Battle of Stirling. Whereas in October, he invaded northern England. Northern England. He invaded northern England. Okay. Specifically, Ark and ravaged the countries of Northumberland and Cumberland. Okay. So specifically, Ark and ravaged the countries Northumberland and Cumberland. These two countries he ravaged. Okay. And Wallace returns to Scotland on December 1297 after 2 months of invading on northern England. So October, November, December. So in the month of December, he returns to Scotland, knighted and named guardian of the kingdom. So knighted means he became the great person, so that other people admire him for his victory of Battle of Stirling. Okay. However, many of the nobles lent him support only grudgingly. Okay. So there is lot of negativity on him. Okay. Many of the nobles lent him support only grudgingly, not willingly, with grudge. The grudge too. They have a lot of jealous on him. Okay. So immaturely they thought, and they affected a lot, and we lost such a tremendous and thoughtful revoking leader. Okay. Also, Wallace was yet to confront Edward I. Wallace has not yet confronted Edward I, means has not yet challenged Edward I. Okay. Now Edward I returned to England. Okay. So meanwhile, Edward I returns to England from Scotland. He ruled the Scotland, right? He declared himself as the self-king or self-ruler. So he returns to England from the campaigns in France in March 1298. Means within 3 months, January, February and March. Within 3 months, this is 1297, this is 1298. Within 3 months, he came back to England from France by his campaigning. He came back to England. And 3rd July, he invades Scotland again. In 3rd July, he invades Scotland again. Means how many months? After March, April, May, June, July. Almost after 3 months break, he invades Scotland. In the same month, 22nd July, he confronts Wallace at Falkirk. He challenges Wallace, William Wallace at Falkirk. Where he challenged or where he confronted Wallace at Falkirk. When? July month of 22nd date. Okay. This is what happened after the return of Edward I to England from the campaignings in France. Okay. Now let's look at the next content. Battle of Falkirk. How the Battle of Falkirk has happened and what happened in that Battle of Falkirk. Let's. Wallace spearmen were defeated by archers and cavalry from England. So there is resistance force with William Wallace, right? They were all defeated by archers and cavalry from England. Means England soldiers such as archers and cavalry has defeated those resistance forces who are staying with Wallace. Okay. Then Wallace received help from forces opposed to Edward I. Okay. Then Wallace started receiving help from forces who opposed to Edward I. But he was ultimately overwhelmed by English forces after half-hearted help from Scottish nobles. As I said in the previous slide, those nobles lent his support grudgingly, with lot of jealous in their mind. Okay, but they affected severely the later stage. Okay, so even though he received help from those forces against Edward I or opposite to Edward I, those Scottish nobles has done only half-hearted help, not thorough help. They have done only partial help, half-hearted help, with keeping grudge in mind. Okay, so battle ruined Wallace's military reputation. Okay, because all the resistance force of Wallace has been died in the battle. So battle ruined William Wallace military reputation. Okay, Wallace resigns guardianship of Scotland. So due to the destroying of the military reputation by Wallace, so he resigned the guardianship of Scotland. The situation became to that level. Succeeded by Robert de Bruce, later King Robert I. Then he handed over to the next king, Robert de Bruce. This is only because of partiality shown to him with immaturity. So Scottish nobles themselves gave the negative force. Okay, so they have done only half-hearted help. So that is the reason why the battle ruined Wallace's military reputation, and he resigned the guardianship of Scotland, and the charge was given to Robert de Bruce, the next king. He is also called Robert I. Okay. Then Wallace disappears in December 1298. When this battle has happened? On 22nd July, he confronts Wallace. Edward I confronts or challenges William Wallace in 22nd July of 1298. In the same year, December. So, July, August, September, October, November, December. With the gap of 4 months or 5 months. So, in the month of December of the same year, 1298, he disappeared by handing over the charges to the next king, later King Robert I. Okay, so he disappeared from December 1298. Then what happened later? In autumn 1299 to summer 1304, what happened? Wallace whereabouts unknown. Where he is or where he was, it was unknown. And some ideas were he was in France in 1299. Okay, he went to France and he spent there, and he thought how to uh, get independence from the England, especially from the British forces ruling by what is his name? Edward I. Okay, so he was in France in the year of 1299. He acted as a solitary guerrilla leader in Scotland. So later he acted as a solitary guerrilla leader in Scotland. Means for the army, solitary guerrilla leader means for one army, one particular army. So he lead them. Then, but his true activities are unknown. Still, what he has done, his true activities are still unknown. Many were hidden. So finally, Wallace is captured and arrested near Glasgow, in Glasgow city, in Scotland country, on August 5th, 1305. Okay, so finally Wallace was caught and he was captured and arrested near Glasgow city of Scotland country on August 5th, 1305. Okay, he was taken to London from Scotland and condemned as a traitor to the king. So once he defeated, he should not show his face or he should not show the ruling or something. Okay. But unfortunately, when he is doing some activities to get freedom from the British forces of Edward I, he caught and he was captured, arrested near Glasgow city, and he was taken to London from Scotland and condemned as a traitor. Traitor means sedative of the country. Okay, is not good for the country. Like that they have treated. Okay, as a traitor to the king, especially to the king of, who is king? Edward I of England. Even though, as he maintained, he had never sworn allegiance to Edward. Okay, he had never sworn allegiance to Edward. Okay, so let's move on to the next content. Wallace's end. William Wallace end. William Wallace was hanged on August 23rd of 1305 in England. In England, he was taken to England from Scotland, right? And he was disemboweled, means his bowels were taken out. Okay, means we can understand how struggle he has faced and what are the good things he has done against England of Edward I. Okay, he has done too much fight to get freedom from England forces, British forces, and he was beheaded, means his head was cut off. That much cruelly he was treated. You can understand what are the struggles he has faced and what is the fight he has done to get freedom from the English or British. And he was quartered, means he was divided into 4 equal or corresponding parts. That much punishment they gave means he has troubled them a lot to get the freedom from them. So we have to understand that one should have that much courage and guts to fight against the bad things, to fight against the evil forces, to get the gender discriminated society and to enter the gender sensitization world. Okay. As a part of gender sensitization, one should know the history and story of William Wallace, how he was treated by the British ruler Edward I and his people, and struggled to challenge him with the vision of obtaining independent Scotland. Okay, one should obviously get inspired by hearing to his story. Okay, so I hope you are inspired and you understood the role, what you have to do to fight against the evil forces. And the references I followed were Gender Studies by Kadambari, and Gender Sensitization by Rajalakshmi Kalyani, and finally Wikipedia of William Wallace. Thank you very much for your kind attention and all the very best.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.